Hey, what's up? It's Nick, and we're going to be reading the third chapter of 1Nephi here. Let's go ahead and start with the preface. Lehi's sons return to Jerusalem to obtain the plates of brass. Laban refuses to give the plates up. Nephi exhorts and encourages his brethren. Laban steals their property and attempts to slay them. Laman and Lemuel smite Nephi and Sam and are reproved by an angel. About 600 to 592 BC. If you couldn't tell, things start to really get exciting in this chapter. A lot happens. Verse 1, and it came to pass that I, Nephi, returned from speaking with the Lord to the tent of my father. And it came to pass that he spake unto me, saying, Behold, I have dreamed a dream in which the Lord hath commanded me that thou and thy brethren shall return to Jerusalem. For behold, Laban hath the record of the Jews, and also a genealogy of my forefathers, and they are engraven upon the plates of brass. So from what I understand, these the plates of brass were essentially like the Old Testament, pieces of like the Old Testament, Genesis, Exodus, like those scriptures, and then also, as he says, like a genealogy of his family. So Lehi's saying, we've got to go get these things. Wherefore the Lord hath commanded me that thou and thy brothers should go into the house of Laban and seek the records and bring them down hither into the wilderness. So Laban's the guy that has these records. And now, behold, thy brothers murmur, saying, It is a hard thing which I have required of them. But behold, I have not required it of them, but it is a commandment of the Lord. So I believe this is a big thing between Nephi and his brothers. Like Nephi thinks that the things that he's doing are because the Lord has commanded them. Laman and Lemuel think it's just his dad and his crazy dreams. Remember when they are upset about leaving Jerusalem? I believe it comes back to the same problem of they don't really believe it's from God. Therefore, go, my son, and thou shalt be favored of the Lord, because thou hast not murmured. And it came to pass that I, Nephi, said unto my father, I will go and do the things which the Lord hath commanded. For I know that the Lord giveth no commandments unto the children of men, save he shall prepare a way for them, that they may accomplish the thing which he commandeth them. So I got to stop real quick. That's a real famous scripture in the church. Basically, the idea, if God commands us to do something, he will prepare a way that we can accomplish that thing. He doesn't give us impossible standards that we can not live up to. And it came to pass that when my father had heard these words, he was exceedingly glad, for he knew that I had been blessed of the Lord. And I, Nephi, and my brethren took our journey into the wilderness with our tents to go up to the land of Jerusalem. And it came to pass that when we had gone up to the land of Jerusalem, I and my brethren did consult one with another, and we cast lots, who of us should go in unto the house of Laban. And it came to pass that the lot fell upon Laman. And Laman went into the house of Laban and talked with him as he sat in his house. So apparently they didn't want to go ask Laban for these plates. I think they all knew something bad was going to happen. That's why they were casting lots, basically like picking straws or just rolling a dice. I'm not sure exactly how this worked, but they were randomly trying to choose who would go do it, because I'm assuming they didn't want to. And he desired of Laban the records which were engraven upon the plates of brass, which contained the genealogy of my father. And behold, it came to pass that Laban was angry, and thrust him out from his presence, and he would not that he should have the records. Wherefore he said unto him, Behold, thou art a robber, and I will slay thee. So it gets pretty intense pretty quick. But Laman fled out of his presence, and told the things which Laban had done unto us. And we began to be exceedingly sorrowful, and my brethren were about to return unto my father in the wilderness. So the brothers are saying, well, we gave it our best shot. That guy's nuts. He tried to kill us. We should go back. But Nephi kind of going back to verse 7 there, he's saying God's going to make a way for us. But behold, I said unto them, As the Lord liveth, and as we live, we will not go down into our father in the wilderness until we have accomplished the thing which the Lord hath commanded us. Wherefore, let us be faithful in keeping the commandments of the Lord. Therefore, let us go down into the land of our father's inheritance, for behold, he left gold and silver and all manner of riches. And all this he hath done because of the commandments of the Lord. So he's basically saying, well, let's get a little bit creative here. Like, God really wants us to do this. Let's be faithful in keeping the commandments of the Lord. It's like we left our house and all our gold, silver there. Like, let's go use that and try and buy this, essentially. So pretty creative idea, I think. For he knew that Jerusalem must be destroyed because of the wickedness of the people. That's why all that gold and silver is there. For behold, they have rejected the word of the prophets. Wherefore, if my father should dwell in the land after he hath been commanded to flee out of the land, behold, he would also perish. Wherefore, it must needs be that he flee out of the land. And behold, it is wisdom in God that we should obtain these records, that we may preserve unto our children the language of our fathers. So we're saying this is a really big deal, because for our children and their children, are everyone after us, they have to have these records so they can learn about their forefathers, then also the language as well. And also that we may preserve unto them the words which have been spoken by the mouth of all the holy prophets, which have been delivered unto them by the Spirit and power of God since the world began, even down until this present time. So again, that's why I think this is like the Old Testament scriptures. And it came to pass that after this manner of language did I persuade my brethren, that they might be faithful in keeping the commandments of God. And it came to pass that when we went down into the land of our inheritance, we did gather together our gold and our silver and our precious things. And after we had gathered these things together, we went up again unto the house of Laban. So apparently it was a team effort this time. And it came to pass that we went in unto Laban, and desired him that he would give unto us the records, which were engraven upon the plates of brass, for which we would give unto him our gold, our silver, and all our precious things. And it came to pass, when Laban saw our property, and that it was exceedingly great, he did lust after it, insomuch that he thrust us out, and sent his servants to slay us, that he might obtain our property. So he sees the stuff, and he's like, well, servants, go get their stuff and kill them. And it came to pass that we did flee before the servants of Laban, and this is my favorite wording of this, and we were obliged to leave behind our property. Obliged, that's one way to put it, like you're running for your life, probably a good idea. And it fell into the hands of Laban. And it came to pass that we fled into the wilderness, and the servants of Laban did not overtake us, and we hid ourselves in the cavity of a rock. And it came to pass that Laman was angry with me, and also with my father, and also was Lemuel, for he hearkened unto the words of Laman. Wherefore Laman and Lemuel did speak many hard words unto us, their younger brothers, and they did smite us even with a rod. So brothers getting pretty upset at each other. And I kind of want to take a second here to just say, you can kind of understand why they're so upset. Their father sent them to do something that almost got them killed a first time. Then they went back a second time with all this gold and silver and were almost killed again. So this isn't just sort of like a light thing that they were trying to do. This was a very real, intense thing. Although I don't think smacking your brother is the appropriate response. But I just want to say, I mean, I can see where some frustration would come from. Just maybe they need a little anger management. And it came to pass that as they smote us with a rod, behold, an angel of the Lord came and stood before them. And he spake unto them, saying, Why do ye smite your brother with a rod? Great question from an angel. Know ye not that the Lord hath chosen him to be a ruler over you, and this because of your iniquities? Behold, ye shall go up to Jerusalem again, and the Lord will deliver Laban into your hands. And after the angel had spoken unto us, he departed. And after the angel had departed, Laman and Lemuel again began to murmur, saying, How is it possible that the Lord will deliver Laban into our hands? Behold, he is a mighty man, and he can command 50. Yea, he can slay 50. Then why not us? So they're really saying, we gave this 2 really good, honest efforts, and it wasn't close. Each time we almost got killed. How are we supposed to accomplish this thing? So one question that I leave myself with at the end of this chapter is, Nephi and the angel here keep harping on the fact that, if God commands us to do something, that we are going to have the ability or power or some way we're going to be able to accomplish that thing. But the question comes in, when do you call it quits? If God asks you to do something and you feel like for some reason beyond your control or whatnot that you can't do it, when do you say, I've done my best versus just trying to go to the impossible and making something happen? Kind of an interesting question here. But having this angel appear to them, I think would give them some extra emphasis. But kind of a question that I was pondering as I read this. Anyways, that's the end of chapter 3. Let's go ahead and see what happens in chapter 4.